My name is Keith Costelloe, and this is the prologue to a book, Drawn into Danger, Part 1. Prologue, March 2021. Death comes in many forms and creeps up on you without warning and leaves you shattered and reeling. It also leaves an aftermath, weeks, months, even years following those left behind. The heartache never disappears. It only hides in the secret places of your mind, surfacing as memories return and then recede. The memories of the life you lived forces you to re-examine and question why. A more mature you would have, but all these what-ifs are pointless, only serving to bury you in further grief and despair. But no matter how hard you try, they still bubble up to the surface and capture you unawares. Walking on the beach on a cold, windswept day, a wave of emotion smashed into me. Hands shaking and vision blurred, it forced me to my knees, barely noticing the wind whipping up the sand and the decay of a half-eaten seagull with one dull and lifeless eye glaring up at the world it no longer lives in. I wept for what had been. Memories of our time together haunted me. We had loved and enjoyed life, but had been drawn into a darker, more dangerous place. Why is this greyness torturing me now with recollections of so long ago? Algeria had been bright and warm and invigorating. You'd been so full of life and love, and yet... Rosie's passionate licking of my hand, her wagging tail and her bright brown eyes looking intently at me, gave me some sense of another life. I could see a look of, what, concern? Love? Yes, but something more, an inner awareness. She knew that this was not me, and she needed to bring me back to her and to life itself. She licked and licked. Her hot, wet tongue reawakened a sense of living and of the world around me. It was bitterly cold. I sat up and struggled to stand. Two deep brown eyes willing me, intent on reviving me. Come on, let's go, I said. I staggered home, exhausted, and collapsed on the sofa. Algeria. Those memories of 40 years ago flooded back. Sue sitting at a cafe table, laughing and talking with young Frenchmen, riding horses on the beach, galloping on the sand, innocent and free. I shuddered and reached for the bottle. Alcohol numbed my brain and stifled the intensity of feeling. Musa smiling and reaching out his hand to greet me. I drank, gulping down the rum which burned the back of my throat, sat heavily on my stomach and made me feel less human. The phone's incessant urgent ringing woke me. Hungover, my mind lay hazy and numb. Unknown caller. Vancouver number. Shit, who the fuck? I swiped. Dave, it's Farid. Those memories. The enormity shocked me awake. Farid, yes. Inwardly, I groaned. A feeling of intense dread mixed with heartbreaking excitement. I croaked, where are you? In Vancouver, can we meet? Farid had tracked me down. Algeria had been fun, stimulating, dangerous, and the awakening of a more intense sexuality. I'd suppressed those feelings in recesses of my brain I hadn't wanted to reopen. They were too painful, but part of me wanted to pick at the scars to see what's buried beneath. I met him in the hotel lobby. He was older, of course, we both were, but he was still good looking. We hugged, and it felt good. Where's Sue? I shook my head. I can't. Later. I looked at the crowded reception, tourists off the cruise ships, milling around and talking incessantly. Farid interrupted our awkward silence. Come to my room, we can talk, have dinner sent up, a bottle of wine. Yes, I said in a faint voice, fearing the inevitability of it all, the opening of those wounds and the bloodletting of memories. The view was impressive, overlooking the harbour and across the bay to North Vancouver and its snow-capped mountains, but I wasn't sure what to say or how to start. Farid interrupted my thoughts. Those years in Algeria, have you forgotten? Liz, Musa. He stopped and looked at me. Musa. His name crashed into my consciousness, reawakening deep, intense feelings. No, I haven't forgotten. We were such good friends. His voice faltered. Farid sounded desperate, lost. I wanted to revisit the past, but terrified of taking the first step, I could have said no. but we were drawn into playing their games. And really, what did it all mean to us? We spent a few precious days together, talking late into the night and going for long walks in Stanley Park, reminiscing about our shared past, and walking the seawall freed us both. We revisited the joy and grief, joking, laughing, and getting emotional again. Farad helped me readjust. I couldn't tell him about Sue, it was still too raw. But Musa? As we talked, I felt the lifting of a heavy weight, a burden, not of guilt, but regret. As far as the Algerian government is concerned, this incident never happened. A blip on the radar, too small to have even registered and easy to deny. Farad is not his real name. He never came to Vancouver. The rest of us, nobody cares.